Sure. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about 10-4. If you can kind of remember from 10-2 and from 9-2 and 9-4 are kind of our process here. Our process is we do some transactions, then we post, or we total, or we, do a combination of both, post individually and post the totals. We have to make sure pages are equal, so our debits have to equal credits. And then today we're also going to do one more thing called proving cash, making sure our cash receipts journal is accurate. Okay. So it says we're going to post cash receipts accounts receivable ledger to the general ledger, and we also have to prepare a schedule accounts payable, receivable. All right. We won't walk through every single step of posting because I know you're getting kind of bored with it. We posted in chapter 9 and sections 2 and 4. We also posted in 10-2 there yesterday, or the day before anyway. But so step 1, we're always going to post the accounts receivable credit. All right. So anytime there's an amount in the accounts receivable credit, the name of the customer will be in the account title, and we will go to our subsidiary ledger, accounts receivable subsidiary, and we will post the accounts receivable credit from the cash receipts journal into our accounts receivable subsidiary ledger to the customer name. That's all this sentence is saying. Okay, and you remember the steps: date, page number, if it's a debit or a credit. And with the accounts receivable, we only have one balance, the debit, but we have debits and credits because we need to be able to lower their bills, right? We can't just always charge them when they pay us. We have to record it, and that balance should be reflected in that payment. So that's why you subtract the debit balance from the credit to get a total. And then the last step is the post reference. And those are the steps. You guys will be okay. And we got to remember, it's easy to just add. You got to subtract, okay? So anytime we're in the accounts receivable credit, you'll do that. Okay. Total improving. So we have this cash receipts journal. When we're taking we're going to look at these 5 columns. If we don't have anything in general debit or credit, we will generally just add these columns up after posting the accounts receivable. When we add these columns up, they will have the spot down here. And there's a lot of columns: general debit, credit, accounts receivable, and then the 5 specials. We put the totals in and we make sure they equal. If they don't, just like last time. Step 1, go ahead and re-add the columns up, double check. And then step 2, call me and we go figure out where the mistake is prior to posting anymore. Okay. So the procedures for total approving are the same as in the sales journal. We're just going to add up debit columns, credit columns, make sure you put them in there. Then we'll go up here. It's the last day of the month, whatever the month might be. We write the word totals and then the single and double rule. Okay. You guys probably feel pretty comfortable. That's what we did with the sales journal and the cash payments journal. Okay. So that's nothing new. Proving cash section is somewhat new, but it's necessary, and it should hopefully for you make sense. So what are we talking about? Real briefly, what they're saying is, once we get done with the cash receipts journal is proved, we need to prove cash. Well, how do you prove cash? We have these check stubs, we have our checkbook and we have a balance, and we understand how much money we think we should have, right? They will give you that number in your direction. So it's down here where it says that checkbook balance on hand at the end of the month equals cash on hand at the end of the month. These two, they'll give us one of these in the direction. So it'll say the number on the next check to stub balance is this. Well, this thing better equal. If it doesn't, then we got to go back and find a mistake. Okay. So how do you prove cash? Your cash at the beginning of the month, which is the monthly, you know, at the first of whatever month it might be, is the balance. And they tell you that November 1st balance. So you go, if they don't give it to you, you go look and cash the general ledger cash. What did the cash have at the beginning of the month? Then you add up all the cash payments or all the cash receipts, the cash debit from the cash receipts total. So every time you collected money in the cash receipts, you'll add that to all the money you already had. Then you will subtract the cash payments journal, right? So every time we paid cash, it's in a different journal. So we take all the money we had at the beginning of the month, we record and add to it all the cash debit from the debit column from the cash receipts journal, all the money we had plus all the money received, and then we subtract from the cash payments all the money we paid out, the cash credit column. And that number should equal what the number is that they give you. But hopefully that makes sense. If you had $5, you made $10, you spent $3, what do you got? That's what we're, you know what I mean? And very, 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 very small story problem like numbers. That's what we're doing. But you might not be, usually you'll be given the cash on hand and the checkbook. If you're not given cash on hand, they're trying to be tricky, like in a mastery problem. Where are you going to find it? In the general ledger. You have to go all the way down to the general ledger and go to cash. Okay. Okay. And we'll do that together. And then there's just a bunch of pictures of posting. I'm not going to read through this necessarily, but it just shows you how to post to the, you know, the totals for each one of these, and then to put the numbers at the bottom. And they got the steps here, but that's all it is. It's just pictures of showing you how to post. Date, page number, debit or credit, balance, account number. Okay. And then the last picture is like the one of our first pictures in our, remember we had the file cabinet, we had our subsidiary ledger. Okay. So this has all our customers, Edmonds Hospital, if you remember, Lake Automotive, Palmer Dentist, and it has all our transactions, the balance at the beginning of the month, that they paid some bills, that they charged some things, that they paid some bills. And this balance on the far right side for all our customers is what we're going to put onto our schedule of accounts payable, receivable. Sorry. So we did this last chapter. We did a schedule of accounts payable, which give us all the balances of what we owed. This is a schedule of accounts receivable, balance listing of all the people that owe us money. Okay. A listing of customer account balances totals that amount due from all our customers is called the schedule of accounts receivable. It might also be called the accounts receivable trial balance. Now, lastly, this number, 10,498, the amount of money all these people owe us. If you remember, that's the number I said at the beginning in 10.1, right? When we were looking at it, we said all our customers' numbers, if you add them up on that receipt, equal the controlling account, 10,498. That's what they're saying down here. The balance accounts receivable in the general ledger should equal the total of the accounts receivable, 10,498. Since the two amounts are the same, our schedule is proved. So you just got a bunch of check numbers. All right, then. Just posting. Well, proving cash and schedule accounts payable. There's a lot of stuff there. I gotta stop.